Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Kim Miller begins now.
Good evening, everyone. As we go to air, southern Tasmania is in the grips of a snap 3-day lockdown. It comes after a COVID-positive traveller who entered the community this week continues to be difficult with authorities. The lockdown will be in place until Monday at this stage. There is only 5 essential reasons to leave your home, and it's mandatory for masks to be worn outside and in public places. Our team of reporters are standing by to bring you the latest. First to Ainsley Kosh, who's outside the Macquarie Point testing clinic in Hobart. Ainsley, has there been a high turnout for testing today?
There certainly has, Kim. In fact, testing sites across southern Tasmania will have their opening hours extended, including here at the Macquarie Point site, which will be open from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. tomorrow. There are, of course, mobile testing sites opening in the Brighton municipality and also at My State Bank Arena, as public health braces for more people to turn up for testing in the coming days. Now, of course, there are many businesses which have closed. Over the next few days, hospitality venues can remain open for takeaway food, while there are limitations on hospital visits and, of course, aged care visits as well, as the evolving situation is contained as quickly as possible, Kim. Tens of thousands of Tasmanians have had their weekend plans cancelled as 12 local government areas across southern Tasmania face a 3-day lockdown until 6 o'clock on Monday night after a man infected with the Delta strain entered the community this week and lied about his movements.
Unfortunately, the COVID-positive man who absconded from hotel quarantine has not been cooperative, leading to inconsistency and non-disclosure of information.
While there are no new positive COVID cases in the community, it has been revealed the man also travelled to Bridgewater Woolworths and Montrose Bay Park after he escaped the Travelodge Hotel earlier this week and was in the community for 18 hours.
Very, very disgusting, very disappointing, very lack of judgment of him.
The guy should be locked up. Key thrown away.
With many questions left unanswered, the Premier isn't ruling out extending the lockdown, defending the heavy-handed approach.
One of the things that we do not want to be in this state is either Sydney or Melbourne, who acted too late in both instances when dealing with Delta.
We are at the highest risk of having COVID transmission established within our state at any time this year.
Earlier today, people were turning out in droves for testing in Gagebrook, some waiting longer than an hour.
The manager went into quarantine last night because he was exposed at the Woolworths.
I was in the area when the exposure site was at Woolworths in Bridgewater, so I thought I'd better come down and check out. Yeah.
I've been vaccinated, I've had fully vaccinated, and I just think just for other people and just everyone around us, just to be vigilant.
Public Health is hoping to target people in Brighton, which has some of the lowest vaccination rates in the state, with a pop-up Pfizer clinic now open at the Civic Centre.
I think our community is angry, and rightfully so. It's very disappointing that one individual can put a whole community at risk.
Police will be in force over the next 3 days to ensure residents in lockdown-affected areas don't travel further than 5 kilometres from their home and only travel outside that radius for exceptional circumstances.
The snap lockdown has created chaos for a number of events and activities in the state. Reporter John Hunt joins us now from Blunston Arena. John, what does this mean for the WBBL?
Well, Kim, the future of those games are still up in the air, with competition organisers yet to confirm whether the scheduled matches will take place. The league says it's currently working through its next move, with all options including playing without crowds believed to be on the table. It was set to be a big weekend of events across the region, including an arts festival and the arrival of Australia's new Antarctic ship. Sadly, both are among a wide range of cancellations. However, an important day for local schools has been given the green light. For many, Monday is set to be the biggest day of their schooling lives. Year 11 and 12 and university exams due to begin. A busy and stressful period at the best of times. The Premier reassuring students they're still on is scheduled.
The examinations on Monday for any university or Year 11 and 12 students, and they will be going ahead.
Schools will remain open Monday, but only those with special circumstances will be able to attend.
You can go to school on Monday if the child of a permitted worker or if the child cannot be supported to learn from home, but otherwise you'll stay home from school on Monday.
Other events, however, haven't been as lucky. The Women's Big Bash was ironically moved to Tasmania to escape a COVID outbreak, a move Melbourne and Sydney-based teams had enjoyed.
So we've been able to get out and see a few things and go to some cafes and restaurants, so it's been pretty good to start with.
If the scheduled matches take place this weekend, players and fans will face restrictions.
If they do go ahead, they would go ahead with no crowd and with the players remaining in a bubble.
Today's drama also impacting the Tasmanian Tigers. Their one-day cup match against WA in Perth postponed for an hour due to the unfolding situation. On the home front, the Noina's welcome into Hobart will now take place at an empty wharf. Thousands had been due to greet her, however no crowds will be allowed. Queenstown's Unconformity Festival also making the difficult decision to cancel.
It's not just about the safety of our audiences, it's the safety of our local community. And when you look at that risk and you weigh it all up, it was very clear that this festival shouldn't be proceeding today.
The decision expected to impact heavily on local businesses, desperate for a tourist boost.
We're really banking on this sort of high income and high trade as we are heading into the busy summer season. And to have that yanked out from under their feet is really heartbreaking.
John Hunt, 7 Tasmania News.
Tasmanians have descended on supermarkets to stock up on essentials. Our reporter Elizabeth O'Neill joins us in Launceston. Lizzie, panic buying started in the state early today.
That's right, Kim. We thought we had seen the end of shelves being stripped bare of toilet paper, but Tasmanians have been stocking up today. There have been long queues at supermarkets in the state's south, and Coles has brought back purchasing restrictions, which will be Tasmania-wide. Customers will be limited to 2 packs of toilet paper and 2 packets of face masks. Woolworths is yet to implement any limits but says it will monitor the situation. And Kim, supermarkets will of course remain open over the next 3 days, so there is no need to panic buy. Shoppers are being urged to remain calm and treat all staff members with respect in what is expected to be a busy time for them. Kim?
Well, turning to the day's other local news now, a driver has been taken to hospital in a serious condition after a 2-vehicle crash on the Midland Highway at Ross this morning. The driver of the other car has also been taken to the Royal Hobart Hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. The road was closed in both directions while the scene was cleared. Police are investigating. A tyre fire at the abandoned Royal Tharsis mine near Queenstown is being treated by authorities as suspicious. Copper Mines Tasmania say the blaze was first noticed at 11:30 p.m. and crews worked through the night to control it. Residents were encouraged to remain indoors this morning to avoid smoke inhalation. The 1,500 tyres are expected to take several days to burn out. Meanwhile, fire has taken hold of a rural property in the Tamar Valley. A lack of water hampering firefighters' efforts to bring the blaze under control.
A dry day and timber throughout the home spelt disaster when the fire took hold.
It's a timber building, everything's timber inside. It's very flammable.
Volunteer crews were the underdogs fighting a fire without any water supply on site, meaning it had to be trucked in, wasting valuable time.
We got to the stage where we had it nearly knocked down and we'd run out of water, so and it flared up again.
What caused the fire at Lenina near Exeter isn't known. No one was injured and the owner was away when the blaze began.
We think it's started on the second story. It was fully involved when we arrived.
Compounding the challenge for firefighters is access to the property. The only way in and out is a 1 kilometre single lane track.
It's been challenging, but we're getting on top of it now.
The fire was reported at around 2 o'clock, but crews spent hours at the scene. Investigators will return tomorrow. Tom Johnson, 7 Tasmania News.
The revamped Taste of Tasmania has unveiled its plans for New Year's Eve, partnering with Hobart Airport for an aviation-themed event. The Taste will turn into a departure lounge during the evening to say goodbye to 2021. Hobart City Council will also run its traditional fireworks displays at 9:30 and midnight to welcome in the new year.
And thanks to the support of the City of Hobart, and the Hobart Airport. The 2021 event will be a cracker, and we're going to send 2021 packing.
It's a great new chapter for the Taste, that the City of Hobart is a partner in the event.
Attendance will be capped at 5,000 people. Independent MP Christy Johnston has once again taken aim at Liberal and Labor parties as debate to reform Tasmania's pokies regulations took place in Parliament. A number of clauses made their way through the House of Assembly last night. Ms Johnston slammed Labor for allowing the Liquor and Gaming Commission's report into harm minimisation to pass through.
Someone's suicide. They've turned their back on the people who have been dealing with the issue of poker machine addiction in the community at the coalface for many, many years. It is disgusting and disgraceful.
Shadow Finance Minister Dean Winter says their changes will ensure the Commission's report focuses on all aspects of harm minimisation, including facial recognition and card play. The developers behind Project X say they're searching for a new site after Huon Valley Council scrapped their plans at Ida Bay. Mona's Dark Lab team is proposing to install an arts project in the region that was badly ravaged by bushfires in 2019. They say they don't want to be drawn into an expensive appeals process and will seek to find an alternate site. The state government says it's committed to seeing the project come to fruition in the Huon Valley. Transformer is now expected to be complete in 2023. A new music and arts festival is set to rock Tasmania's summer. Vibes Town, organisers of Party in the Paddock and the Basinish concert, will run Party in the Apocalypse at Launceston's Heritage Forest on the first weekend of December. The lineup of 20 local and interstate acts will be announced next week. The event will still battle COVID restrictions, with capacity to be limited to 2,500. If you're just joining us, Southern Tasmania has entered its first hour of a snap 3-day lockdown. In light of this, the Premier has recorded an address to the state.
Good evening, everyone. On public health advice to prevent an outbreak of COVID-19, Southern Tasmania will enter a snap 3-day lockdown from 6 p.m. tonight. Tasmania has an older and more vulnerable population, and we simply cannot put people's health or lives at risk. Under our lockdown rules, you must stay home and only leave for the following reasons: to go to work or school if you are permitted, to get essential supplies, to provide care for someone or to receive medical treatment, including getting a COVID test or vaccination, or to exercise. We know from experience that going hard and going early works. So I urge all Tasmanians in the south to please follow the rules to allow the contact tracers to do their job. This will mean that we have the best chance of ending the lockdown in 3 days' time. For advice on what the lockdown means for you, please visit coronavirus.tas.gov.au or call the Public Health Hotline on 1800 671 738. I understand this is challenging, and I want to thank each and every one of you for your cooperation at this time. Thank you.
Midwives at Launceston General Hospital have stripped down in the name of charity. While they kept their gear on for the launch today, their nude calendar paints a colourful picture.
These naked nurses putting on their own show at the Princess Theatre.
A little bit of naughtiness and cheekiness because, you know, that's pretty much what our team's like.
96 midwives and their friends and family stripped off to raise crucial funds for Tasmania's Cancer Council.
Putting yourself out there a little bit is a small price to pay to promote and to just let people know that it's still there. And that it needs to be addressed.
We deal with people in vulnerable positions, having baby, giving birth. So we thought we'd try and put ourselves out there and be brave. It's not something we normally do, get our clothes off all the time.
The oldest participant was 67, the youngest just 8 weeks old. For many, the shoots were liberating and empowering.
Yeah, it was a beautiful, beautiful time together. I really loved the experience. It definitely put us all out of our comfort zone, but definitely for an amazing cause.
It's the group's second calendar after a huge response in 2019.
Just such an amazing experience. We were supported so well by the hospital and management, and we made about $12,000 and we're the highest fundraisers that year. But it was more about the whole group and what it brought to our team.
With 1,000 copies printed, the team is hoping to go 5,000 better. Letitia Wallace, 7 Tasmanian News.
A new 0% alcohol trial will soon be rolled out in liquor stores to help people moderate their drinking. It follows alarming new research which found many drinkers have increased their intake since the start of the pandemic, with Tasmanians indulging more frequently than the national average.
The statistics are sobering. According to Drinkwise, almost a third of Australians already consuming 10 or more standard drinks a week admit the pandemic drove them to drink more.
During the last few months, we have seen some risky drinkers actually increase their consumption.
And Tasmanians are now turning to the drink more than 3 days a week, higher than the national average. The booze binge has prompted a new push in bottle shops to put low to mid-strength alcohol front and centre.
So this initiative is all about making sure that Australians can actually make healthier and safer choices when it comes to their alcohol consumption.
The Australian first trial will see select Dan Murphy's and BWS stores showcase their alcohol alternatives and use in-store messaging to encourage customers to give them a try. And with 36% of Tasmanians surveyed admitting they'd like to cut down, these zero heroes could prove life-changing.
Customers are telling us that they want to moderate their drinking for a variety of reasons, and part of our role is to help enable that.
Any initiative that can help people drink in moderation is going to be a good idea.
The trial will begin in Queensland before being rolled out in other states.
Reducing alcohol intake, we know will improve people's general health, not just in a physical way, but it'll improve their emotional health, often improves their work functioning, improves family functioning. There's a whole range of benefits.
It's enough to drive one to drink 0%. Melissa Raitt, 7 Tasmania News.
Riley Meredith has shot to form in Tasmania's opening one-day cup game. Sam Rainbow claimed Josh Philippi for a duck in the second over to have Western Australia reeling, before Meredith stormed in to claim the first of his 3 wickets and have WA at 2 for 10.
Oh, that's another close delivery. And the umpire, yes, giving it out. That's a great delivery and a great decision as well.
Western Australia has limped to 8 for 155 after 38 overs. Tasmania will bat tonight. Before their WBBL future was thrown into doubt, the Hurricanes spent the morning preparing for their season opening match scheduled for tomorrow afternoon against the Renegades. Hopes are high for the squad, which is listed to play its first 8 games at home.
We've got a really good team and we know that we're going to be really competitive this year, which is, it's really exciting to get underway.
The Renegades will feature Tasmanian Courtney Webb playing her first matches here in the state.
I think it's my 3rd or 4th season now as well, so it'll be really cool to play in front of friends and family, but yeah, definitely feeling the nerves to start the tournament.
News is expected later this evening about whether the hub matches will proceed. And with the cricket season now underway, what better time to relive an ING Cup Classic? Tasmania had a sluggish run in the early 2000s, but produced one of the most extraordinary displays in domestic first-class cricket, skittling South Australia for a record low score, which still stands today.
It's your state, mate. ING Cup.
Domestic cricket's rock and roll soundtrack was only overshadowed by the ING Cup's greatest innovation, Hit the Sign.
There it is, 50 grand.
And while the Tigers had the look in their new warm-up tracksuits that season, it took a blustery and overcast day at Bellerive in January 2003 for Tasmania to make a memorable performance. The batting wasn't anything special. Openers Michael Divenuto and Michael Dighton opened respectfully, and Scott Cremascothan and Dan Marsh scored modest totals to see Tasmania post 191 from its 50 overs. But what followed shocked cricket observers across the nation. A record low score in Australian domestic first-class cricket, South Australia all out for just 51 runs. It took only 28 overs for Adam Griffith and Ben Oliver to claim 3 wickets each. Damien Wright followed up with 2 of his own. Brett Jeeves won. The result, an embarrassment for the Redbacks and a high point for Tasmania.
What we've done is identify roles and challenge blokes to actually specialise. Probably in the past we've had generalist sort of roles and blokes who bat a bit and bowl a bit.
But the 02-03 season had plenty of problems. An ING Cup game scheduled for the NTCA ground was scrapped because of the poor surface. Bellerive's was even worse. A match in the Sheffield Shield, or Pura Cup as it was, had to be abandoned not long after it started, handing Western Australia full points.
Simply the safety. I think a few balls flew over
wicket-keeper's head this morning.
That redback's rolling, easily the highlight of the season.
Good evening everyone. 17 degrees in Launceston today, Devonport 16 and Hobart and Burnie both 15. Across the state, Friendly Beach is the top of 22 degrees, 19 in Ouse, St Helens and Smithton 18, Flinders Island 16 and 14 in Strahan. A band of cloud can be seen circling around a low centred just off the northwest coast of Tasmania today. Further out, cloud is covering much of southeastern Australia, while isolated convective clouds can be seen over the northern tropics. The remainder of the country is mostly cloud-free. Tomorrow, the low can be seen moving away to the east of Tasmania as a trough moves over Western Australia. A ridge of high pressure lies over central Australia. South to southwesterly winds 25 to 35 knots tomorrow about the west and south, extending throughout during the morning. And there is a gale warning current from Sandy Cape to Stanley and from St Helens Point to Southeast Cape, including Storm Bay for southwesterly winds. A strong wind warning for all remaining coastal waters and southeast inshore waters, the Central Plateau Lakes, excluding Banks Strait and Franklin Sound. A moderate flood warning is in place for the South Esk River, a minor flood warning for the North Esk and Macquarie rivers, and a flood watch for the North, North East, Huon, Derwent and South East river catchments. A warning to sheep graziers for the South East and East Coast districts. 15 in Hobart tomorrow, showers and 12 in Maydena, Oatlands 13. Launceston and Devonport both 18, 8 and showers in Lyowini. Possible showers and 17 in Burnie tomorrow, Strahan reaching 14, Marrawar 13, and St Helens 17, windy and 15 in Swansea and 14 in Orford. And the UV across the state tomorrow is high. On Sunday, showers about the west and far south, mainly fine elsewhere. Showers about the west and Bass Strait Islands on Monday, extending statewide during the morning. And on Tuesday, showers about the south, east and Bass Strait Islands, easing during the day. 17 in Adelaide tomorrow, showers in Melbourne and Canberra, Sydney 22, 28 in Brisbane and 35 in Darwin. And currently Hobart mostly cloudy and 14, 14 and partly cloudy in Launceston and partly cloudy and 13 in Devonport. And that wraps up the week's weather. I believe Murph will be gracing you with his presence on Monday.
I don't know if we call it gracing. Thanks very much, Chelsea. We might see you Monday, who knows. That is all your news for now. We'll be back later with updates. Thanks for joining us this week. Good night.